Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. I made an especially good cup of coffee. I have a project today that I don't love doing, but I have to spend my whole day doing that, so I made a big pot of coffee so that I could just enjoy it, do my work, and get on with life. I'm going to give you an exercise today that I think will help you. You know, I like to give you just steps to this or focus on this, and every time you use one of these techniques you pull yourself out of something that is in a lower frequency. If that's where you are, if you're in lower frequency, it can help you pull out of a lower frequency. So what we don't realize is that we are constantly evaluating and judging all day long, and what we don't realize is where that's coming from. We're not realizing that most of those thoughts are coming from a lower density separation ego. We don't even realize it. Well, somebody was telling me, they said, you know, they were making decisions about their business, and they said, I'm not coming, I'm pretty sure I looked at this and I'm not coming from my ego. And then they went in to talk about some conflict they had with another person. And I said, wait a minute, that's the ego. And so we don't even realize it. We somehow, the ego, the mind, the brain is analyzing that and deciding whether or not, which means you can't possibly be coming from your inner higher self, because the higher self doesn't analyze anything. It doesn't. So if you're in that frame of mind and you just can't pull out of it, or, well, you can, but you feel like you can't, I'm going to give you an exercise today to help you shift into what will be let's just say, a higher, not only just a higher frequency, but a new reality. We can shift it to a new, more expansive reality. All right, so let's shift into a new, expansive reality, because it will be new for you. Every time you make a decision, it's a new reality, because you've never been in this moment in time, in this made-up time that we have. And so you shift into it, and all of a sudden, everything from there is going to be different. Now, some things may still, you come home to the same person or whatever, but when you walk in the door, it's different. It's different. When you have shifted into a different frequency, every single thing in your life from that moment forward changes. So, what are we going to do? We're going to consciously shift at every moment into the higher frequency. Every single moment. See, it's not just one decision changes your life. It's every split second you are constantly shifting into new realities. Negative thought, you're going over here. Negative thought, going over here. Negative thought. And then you're down here and you're going, why does my life stink? You know, all those, you're down there, it's exactly where you kept shifting into. Then if you start to shift out, and you do my 3-second manifesting, you start to shift out, catch yourself, shifting out, shifting out, shifting out. And then if you do my 3-second advanced manifesting, boom, then not only do you shift out, but you start to understand why you had the negative thoughts in the first place. And then you start to dissolve those beliefs that created that initial, you know, why are they doing this? I don't deserve this, you know. And then you start to realize that you were always in control, and that everything is a lesson for you, and it's all good, and that you're not getting it, and as soon as you get it, it will dissolve, and you're going to see it totally different, and then you shift into a super high frequency. And then the people that you say, you know, I didn't deserve this, and, you know, shouldn't have had a bad childhood, and you forgive them, you shift in an amazing frequency, and you realize that's what I was here for. The ultimate toughest thing to do as a human being is to forgive people that have done some really crappy stuff to you, right? And their frequency will change, and they're here to learn something too, and they're part of the play. They're part of the evolvement of your soul, of your frequency. So what are we going to do right now? Well, this is very much like the 3-second manifesting, but I want to use your ego today. I know, we don't do this very often, right? I want you to actually go into the ego. Why? Because you're there anyways, right? If you're trying to get out of it, chances are pretty good you're going to be battling that newer thought anyways. It'll be temporary. So if you're having a tough time with this, let's go into that higher frequency just by using our ego. Now, as you know, Hacker T, who's asleep still. Is he? Okay. Hacker T is not with us today because he's sleeping. So we're going to use the ego as our friend. All right? So we're going to actually say, okay, I've got these thoughts, all this negativity, you know, all these things I think about the world, my parents, my boss, my spouse, my own life, myself, you know, so you've got all these, you know, judgmental, separation, negative thoughts going on. Even though you meditate and you do all these good things, these other things are still in there. Most people will have this. Chances are pretty good you've got some of that going on. I know you guys don't even realize you're judging other people or saying things should or shouldn't be a certain way. So we're going to go into that space. For every thought, now the thing that you must do in order for this to work is to be conscious of your thoughts all day. So tell yourself that today I'm going to consciously evaluate. You're going to be evaluating, all right? Every time you have a thought, we're not going to go switch over to the positive one. That's 3-second manifesting. This exercise, we're going to imagine a scale, and I'm going to ask you if that thought's a heavy or light one. Ugh, there's that annoying person, neighbor of mine. Boom. I shouldn't have had the parents that I do. Boom. I don't love myself. Boom. Every time you have a thought, ask yourself, is this a higher or a lower frequency thought? You're actually going to go into it, not choose another one. Now here's what's going to happen. Your scale, and you can get a piece of paper if you want. You can draw a line, and you can have a line up here, right? A line up here and a vertical and horizontal line. And when you have a thought, I want you to draw a line down and put a notch. Draw a line down and put a notch on the side, on the left side. The right side, which is the right way of thinking, which is not thinking at all. You can leave that alone. Every time you have a negative thought, you put the notch down, put the notch down, put the notch down. And I'm not talking about a conscious change of thought. See, the 3-second manifesting is you being conscious of the negative thought and switching over to the higher one. You weren't naturally in the higher one. I'm doing today an exercise. I want to know where you're naturally thinking. Okay? I want to know where you're naturally thinking. This isn't about changing your thoughts right now. It's helping you to be aware of where you're placing your frequency. So it's like an analysis of where you are right now. Boom, boom, boom. If by the end of the day you've got notches, and you know if they're negative or not, you know if they're judgmental, if things should be a certain way, or they shouldn't be acting a certain way, or dressing a certain way, or doing so, that's a judgment. That's still, you're going to get a negative notch to that. Every notch. At the end of the day, I want to know where your frequency is. You are now, if you're thinking negative thoughts over higher ones, in the lower frequency. Now, if you've got this and you naturally, not purposefully, that's the whole, this is an evaluation. If you go, I'm going to choose a new thought. If you originally had a negative thought, you get downgraded, because that's where you are right now. I'm not talking about the practice that we're going to do to pull you out of that. I'm talking about, I want you to be very aware of where you are right now. And then you ask yourself later on, I've been doing 3-second manifesting, it's not working, when all day long you're going boom, 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 right? You're down here. And then you're down with the lower frequencies, attracting all that, losing the money, dating or marrying people that treat you poorly. All that stuff's happening down there. You don't know why. I'm doing 3-second manifesting over here for a few seconds when you were going reality, 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 down, 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 down. And you lower, that scale is boom down here at the bottom. You know, in Egypt, they used to measure, put the heart on a scale, the soul against the soul. Like if the heart was lighter, it would go into the afterlife. Then it was like a feather or something. I'm sure they put like a heavy stone. Yes, the emperor, you know, the king of Egypt is going to the other place. They like placed this really heavy thing on there to make sure that the heart was higher than the other one. So how are your scales tipped? You can do this every day. You can just monitor. Allow your ego to monitor what's going on. The ego judges and monitors everything. The ego's constantly separating and measuring. So use it. Use it today and say, whoa. I'll bet you are, most of you are going to have more scales tipping down than you possibly imagined with every thought. And you got to take it. You got to take that notch down. You can't cheat on this one. Take that pencil mark and put one down there. How are your scales tipped? This is this is quantum physics. That's it. So what's going to happen is when you get done with this and you realize, oh my gosh, no wonder nothing's changing. I'm going to 3-second manifesting and within 3 seconds I switch out to a higher thought. But I'm usually all day judging, saying how things should be, how somebody should act, that they're wrong. If somebody has a political position different to yours or a religion different to yours, are you saying they're wrong? Do you unconsciously sit there and go, oh, right? We're doing it all the time. Ugh. Something comes out of somebody's mouth and you judged it. Take it down a notch. Your scale just dropped. You have to do this if you want to be honest with yourself. Most of you are not going to want to do this exercise because taking responsibility is very difficult. To admit that we're wrong is the ego taking the biggest hit. But when you do that, your scale's going to go way up, way up. When you admit that the ego has been in charge. So then when you're done with that and you see where you are on your frequency, then you go into other practices to work on changing the thoughts, switching over to the 3 seconds to manifest, or you take my e-course on landriaonka.com. The .net is my digital training. The .com is my spiritual training. Go in there and do a 6-week course and get to the root of it. Go in there and find out why you continue to have these thoughts, how to recondition yourself, how to think of the world differently, how to see challenges differently, how to use them to become powerful. Get the training. Do what it takes to pull out of that and tip those scales back again. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.